So the Olympic Committee has contacted us to look at some of their data for all of their athletes that are competing from each country. So we have a chart here to look at their data points. This is a graph depicting the Australian athletes that will be competing in the Olympics. And this chart is looking at their height and weight so they can assess BMI. So just, again, these are all the, I think, 200 athletes that were chosen. We can go to the fit line smoothing here, which, when you're just looking at this at first, it's just a lot of dots. What does that really mean? Is there a pattern? Which, it's pretty clear to see that there is a pattern here and an upward trend. But if we want to make it a little bit easier, we can, just have that line there to look at it, see how many points are close to this line and how many are far apart. Just kind of a line of best fit, like what is the average of this data. So those are just different ways to look at it. If we want a little more sophisticated way of looking at it, we can use this Loesch choice option right here. So this, again, it looks very similar to the LM option that we were just on, but we can, make it a little less, I guess, pretty, and that will try to capture some more. You can see how it's curved and include some more data points there. But if you're trying to get, more of an average, or if you just want to go up a little bit more, make it a little bit smoother, you see that as you bump up these increments, it just makes it smoother, averages out the differences between these data points. Again, just showing you where, this middle part is. This is just the title, so it's nothing, as a client you really need to worry about. That was just more on our end. But again, this is the height and weight of these 200 Australian Olympic athletes. We can see that at 200, in the height increments on this x-axis, we get higher weights. Similarly, if we're lower 160 on the x-axis in height, we're going to get lower weights. And with these, smoothing methods or lines that come up with the averaging out the data, and even if you go and choose no lines, we can see that there are some outliers. So we have some people who aren't as tall, but they have higher weights. These could be your bodybuilders, people have a lot of muscle mass. Whereas if we go lower down, again, we might expect, this isn't too much of an outlier, but we might expect this person to have a little bit, again, less weight. But these lines just help it make it a little bit more clear as to, well, maybe that person isn't an outlier, maybe they are more average, and this person is the outlier. But anyway, it just helps you to see this data and assess, how the Australian athletes compare to other countries around the world who are competing in the Olympics.